Hey, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Tape 3. Yes, Rankin wasn't on last night. I had technical issues, but it's back. But that being said, this isn't. But I've got a fun bunch of people here. Matt, how's it going?
I am doing well. Excited to talk about the movie news, and as well, Buck Rogers, because clearly we're talking about the sci-fi franchise from the 1970s tonight.
But also here we've got Gold Lead of how's it going?
It's going great. How you guys? I guess you guys already answered how you're doing. But yeah, things are good. I'm on top of the world today. I feel good.
But with that being said, as we always do, we talk about movie news and box office before we get into the meat of the thing. There really isn't a lot to talk about at the moment, so it's going to be really quick. I'm going to go to the box office first. In the box office, the Suicide Squad came number one at the box office with 26.5 million. Jungle Cruise came in second at 15.7. Old had 4.1 million. Black Widow had 4 million, and Stillwater had 2.1 million. Matt, any thoughts on the box office?
I'm sorry. Can you just run through that again?
It's okay. The Suicide Squad was
What was number one?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide. Okay. That's the one I missed. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard pretty good things, pretty good reviews. Some people not loving it, but it's pretty amazing that it got to number one, considering that both it's on HBO Max, and I was talking about Michael K with this earlier today. It's an R-rated movie because a lot of times you don't see that just simply due to the fact that once you hit and we're reading above PG-13, your audience that can see it just kind of shrinks. But that's pretty impressive. Jungle Cruise makes sense. I mean, I contributed to that as I saw Jungle Cruise yesterday. So, and that makes sense being in a similar, not comic booky, but a similar sort of like action adventure vein, but one that families could see together. Old, you said that was in there, or did I miss it? Yeah, that makes sense. That's still getting good reviews. Black Widow. I think now that Suicide Squad is out, I think we're going to start to see Black Widow sort of be phased out. I feel like most of the people who wanted to see Black Widow already went out to the theaters to see it. And then Stillwater. Which one of the white actor wearing a hat movie was that? Was that the one with Justin really or Mark Wahlberg? I saw that meme today. Where it was the three of them. I was like, oh my god. But those are like I've seen a meme to where it's like if you look like horror movie posters, they're all like there's so many where it's just like the face and like something behind it. It's just that made me laugh. I was like, holy shit.
There's the one with Matthew McConaughey. It's they do one with romance posters too, where it's always Matthew McConaughey leading on somebody.
Yeah, and they're always just like back to back. Like, whoa, this one. Which was that was a Family Guy joke. I think it was opposites. It's just like this guy, no, this guy, both of us.
Well, I mean, I've seen them do something like that with the Hallmark movie posters. Like they had a whole big screenshot of all the Hallmark movie posters. Like, spot the movies.
Hallmark makes like 900 movies a week, so that makes sense. But Stillwater, I haven't heard many things about it, but Matt Damon, even despite the stupid things he said in the news recently, that he thought he was being very smart and PC about, he still, I think he hasn't been canceled because of that, so I think he's still about like that.
I mean, Stillwater's still on the top like 5 of the box office.
Let's be honest, let's be honest, guys. Filmmakers don't read film Twitter, so they don't give a shit. So they still went to see it because they're like, "That's the boy from Good Will Hunting."
The boy from Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Did you hear him and the other boy? They're gonna be in the medieval times. I saw that trailer before Stillwater. I'm looking very forward to it.
Absolutely.
He was also a superhero, I heard. The Batman, I think.
But yeah, like Evan, any thoughts on the way the box office thought out today?
It makes sense. I feel bad. I literally like not even like 2 hours ago. I just finished watching Suicide Squad. I did the kind of like shitty thing, and I watched it at home. And I feel like I should have gone to a theater to see it and supported it, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. I haven't seen Jungle Cruise yet. I really want to see that. But yeah, I think I really want Suicide Squad to make a little more money, and I feel bad because I contributed to that.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those. Yeah, like I actually went to see Suicide Squad yesterday.
Yeah.
At theaters because it was just because we don't have HBO Max in New Zealand, so I had
Oh,
no
wow.
choice.
I didn't know that actually.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like, I did not know what to expect because I know some of my friends really loved it. Some of my
Sure.
friends are on the other side
Right.
of it. So it's definitely one of those movies which, depending on how you enjoy watching movies, because it's all subjective. Like, it doesn't matter on if you love it or not. Like,
Right.
it's your own opinions on the movie.
But if you didn't
seen
like
I'm
it,
sorry,
you're wrong.
Malcolm.
Basically.
That's not what film Twitter tells me.
Yeah.
Film Twitter's always right. They also, although they also told me Star Wars and Marvel are trash.
That's
They also
true.
told me I can't watch movies more than once. So film Twitter's not making sense recently.
But anyway, we've also had a handful of news actually drop this week. Casey and Colin Jost is writing a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie for Paramount.
Oh.
Cobra Kai's Zolo Murray Jr. is in talks to be the lead actor in the Blue Beetle movie. Universal Pictures and Blumhouse are developing a sequel trilogy for The Exorcist, with Alan Burstyn coming back as Chris McNeil, with Leslie Odom Jr. apparently in it. And apparently the first movie is set to be released in just 2 years in 2023,
Oh, wow.
and David Gordon Green is directing it.
Oh, nice.
Louise Guzman is playing Gomez Adams in the
Yeah.
Netflix Adams
Oh, yeah.
Family reboot directed by Tim Burton. And apparently we're getting a Chronicle 2, which is going to be supposedly female-led. I don't know why we're getting a sequel to Chronicle at all. But
Yeah, I don't either. It's like it's over,
Matt,
right?
Chronicle's also not that great. But
Yeah.
anyway, Matt, what are your thoughts on
Each his
the
own.
news that dropped?
There were a couple of stories and my brain just is working. But Luis Guzman as Gomez Adams. I love Luis Guzman. He's one of those actors who he just pops up randomly in things, but he's always like he's really good in everything. Like I love him in the Schwarzenegger movie The Last Stand. He plays one of the deputies and he's hilarious. Him and Johnny Knoxville have a lot of great chemistry in that movie. I mean, there's several. Like honestly, he's one of those actors who's just so many things. I can't even like fully think. If I'm not mistaken, I've only watched the show for once. I think is he the one who they erect the statue to in Community?
Yep.
Yes.
Maybe.
That was a great episode. He shows up to the school. So I love the Addams Family. I've actually been I forget what like I think it's MGM or it's like the official channel or whatever. They've been releasing some like full episodes of Addams Family. There was a series and I've been rewatching through it. Obviously the two movies are the ones with Angelica Houston, Raul Julia, not the newer ones. They're constantly on my house over Halloween. So I love Addams Family, so I'm looking forward to this. But now I'm interested to see who's going to play of course, now I'm blanking. Morticia. I always get Addams Family and the Monsters confused when it comes to the wives. Morticia. I'm going to be interested to see who they cast Morticia with Luis Guzman. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. Blue Beetle. I'm not very familiar with the character aside from his appearances in Batman Brave and the Bold, but I like. I think it's Zolo. I can't pronounce his name, but I love him on Cobra Kai. By the way, season 4 is coming in December. They released the promo earlier this week, and I'm hyped. So good for him. And Yeah, that's pretty much the only stories that really stuck out to me.
So is Hilary Swank coming back for season 4?
I hope fucking not.
Uh, but
Fantastic.
but Evan, any thoughts on the news?
But Terry
Yes.
Silver is. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Terry Silver is coming back.
No. I'm really the Addams Family news struck a chord with me too. I love the Addams Family. My wife and I watch that show pretty regularly. It's on, I think, CBS All Access or something. It's one of those like Amazon add-ons that I have. We watch that show pretty frequently though. And we named our cat Gomez, so like I love Gomez Addams. But we also, interesting thing. So the Exorcist trilogy thing, that's fascinating to me. I did not know about that until this at all. So The Exorcist is far and away my favorite horror movie. So I'm interested. I will probably go see some of them. One of them, I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I'm excited, but I'm wondering. I mean, they already made like 3 sequels to the original one. So
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah, that is true.
But I'll be open.
Didn't Exorcist 3 have Fabio in it, or am I misremembering that?
I do
It
not.
did.
Yeah, I know Exorcist 3 also has
I haven't
Samuel
seen the movie,
Jackson.
but I know
Jackson.
that. I've seen that Fabio randomly, which I could just imagine. Imagine going from like the first movie is like one of the greatest horror films ever made to like fucking Fabio is in this.
Well, I've heard the third one actually seems really interesting because like I think it's mostly like it's about it's George C. Scott. I forgot what character this. Oh, it's Kitterman, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's the detective from the first movie is the character that they follow in the third one. I want to watch it. I haven't seen
Fabio
it.
in it, so
Yeah.
definitely it's got to have some.
Fabio's the main character going forward in this new trilogy too.
What's Fabio been up to? Why doesn't he have a Netflix series?
Yeah,
I've watched the shit out of that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot I want to about. I was like, I don't know why we need another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the works because there's actually.
I want to from Colin Jost, the most boring ass Weekend Update host ever. Fuck yeah, I get he's married to Scarlett Johansson, guys, but seriously,
Let's get Norm in this shit.
Nails on a chalkboard. It's one of the reasons why I stopped watching SNL.
Well, as far as I know, he's only writing. He's not actually going to be in it. But
he writes Weekend Update, which means he's not funny.
I didn't know that either. But anyway, yeah. I mean, the thing that is confusing me is there's already another one, animated one in the works with Seth Rogen attached to it. So there's going to be 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja movies coming out.
It's like the Jungle Books all over again.
Is Seth Rogen gonna be one of the turtles? I feel like he's gonna end up being either Bebop or Rocksteady.
I'm sorry. Seth Rogen as a big green thing that just sits around and eats pizza all day. I feel like that's just ideal casting right there. And they're definitely gonna be doing Pineapple Express.
Sure.
James Franco.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's James Franco's Leonardo.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's not going to happen. Seth Rogen. I mean, Seth Rogen actually said in an interview a while ago that he's not going to do any movies with James Franco anymore. It's because of all the allegations that have come out against Franco. Yeah.
What's that story? You didn't mention that on Late Night Malcolm.
I mean, it's one of those ones I just didn't feel like. I mean, but anyway, but for me, the Exorcist trilogy is interesting me because from what I've read about it is it's going to be a direct sequel to the first movie. They're going to pull a Halloween and ignore the other 2. And I mean, Alan Burstyn coming back is good. I mean, the one thing that really surprised me is the fact that they want it out in 2 years.
Yeah.
And whether or not that actually ends up happening, I don't know. But with David Gordon Green, who did the new Halloween,
it's possible. Because if you look at the first movie, I mean, most of that movie just takes place in like a bedroom. So if you just kind of, depending on how long your shoot schedule is, you could kind of turn that out pretty fast.
But yeah, and with Leslie Odom Jr. attached to it, it's just good casting there, and Blumhouse has not done much wrong with their horror movies. They've been done a lot of good stuff, so that alone just excites me.
I really liked the new Halloween as well. I really was into that movie, so I'm excited for this new one coming out in like 2 months too. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a new Halloween movie coming out?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm a horror person, but I feel like I didn't hear that.
Halloween Kills. It's the sequel.
It's the sequel to the most recent
yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael's unleashed in this one, it seems.
I
Awesome.
have a question though, just because I've seen the first two.
Yeah.
Have they ignored Halloween 2, or is it like Halloween 2, and then the newer one, or it's just the first?
No, it's Halloween followed by the sequel Halloween.
Okay, so
Yeah,
nothing happens in the hospital at all.
Nothing.
So
No.
okay.
Laurie
Are they
escapes.
still brother and sister?
No, they're not. They addressed that in the 2018 one. Remember, they were like, I
haven't seen it. Like I said, I've seen Halloween.
Oh, you haven't seen that one.
I've seen Halloween and
Yeah.
Halloween 2 from
No,
the 70s and that.
the 2018 one is very worth watching. I really enjoyed it, and I do like the first one a lot too. But they like Laurie's granddaughter. Oh yeah, that would be kind of neat. Laurie's granddaughter mentions in the movie, she's like, "Oh yeah, no, they're not related. That's just some shit like the neighborhood kids made up." And I thought that was kind of funny, but it's really
neighborhood kids.
No, seriously, like seeing what Laurie becomes, like she's basically like this old, like she's a recluse basically, like she lives by herself, just waiting for the day Michael's gonna come back, and it's ruined her entire life. Yeah, no, basically, it's like
she's Sarah Connor from T2. That's what I garnered from the trailers. I saw. I was like, oh, so this is maybe Sarah Connor, which is not a bad choice, but it's
right. But no, it like destroyed her relationship with like her daughter, and it's really great. So definitely check that one out. I found that one really great.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got to catch up on the Halloween movies myself.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of various different ones. I don't think I've seen a full one start to finish.
I've seen the Sin Snob review of Season of the Witch, and that's a very funny review. Everyone should watch.
But with that being said, that was all the news that we had. So
that's the show, everybody.
It was a very slow week. But we're going to move on to Star Wars. And I do have a fun bracket we're going to get to later. But before that, we're going to just talk about. But Matt, what's some of your favorite moments, movies, whatever you want to talk about in Star Wars?
I don't like Star Wars at all. You know this. I just hate Star Wars so much.
Oh, nice. I love that poster, by the way.
Terrible. I hate it. Favorite. Well, I think most people know, particularly people who subscribe to my YouTube channel, would know. My favorite movie of all time is Empire Strikes Back, so obviously it's my favorite Star Wars movie. But other things beyond that, I've always said that my favorite thing next to the first 6 movies is the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. I love that show so much. I love the action, I love the story, but which I count those as movies, not a show, because I also love the Clone Wars animated series from 2008. It's probably my favorite animated series. I've been really enjoying Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear it got renewed for season 2. I think it's been a great spinoff. I loved the last episode. Hunter is fastly becoming one of my favorite Star Wars characters because he's literally Rambo in Star Wars. So definitely made that character for me. Other Star Wars, Mandalorian is obviously, I think, aside from Rogue One, is probably the best thing that's been produced in the Disney era.
Yeah.
I think I'm watching the Disney Gallery stuff. You just get the sense that like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, like, and this is no knock on J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson, but you just get the sense that like they love Star Wars. Like you
Yeah.
just get like I was literally watching the season 2 Disney Gallery, and when Robert Rodriguez showed up with his like action figure like reel, and they were like, this is the coolest story reel we've ever seen. Like you just get the sense that they like geek out, and like all the directors they've been able to bring in, like Robert Rodriguez and Bryce Dallas Howard and all of them. It's been so cool instead of it just being like one person's vision. It's like all these great minds working together.
Sure.
Obviously the finale, like it's the closest, because I grew up, well, I was born in 97, so I grew up well after the original. So like it's the closest thing I've had to feel to like what I assume audiences felt at the end of Empire in 80. Like that was awesome. What's gonna happen? I can't wait for the Disney Gallery episode they're releasing on August 25th about the return of Luke Skywalker. Other things. I mean, there's so many. I love the parodies. Saga Begins is one of my favorite Weird Al songs. Robot
Absolute
Chicken.
classic.
There are so many Robot Chicken things. I quote, this is why I'm gonna bring my kid. Baby, it's 159 degrees on this planet. I can't hear this thing. I am just repeating what the man is saying. It's not like it's my motherfucking fun matter. See, that's why I don't bring my kids to jack shit.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Gary the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Hey, want to see me tempt fate? Can this day possibly get any worse? I said ironically, so I think I'm okay. Cuts to him getting thrown down the shaft.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, God, that's just a wide order to say Star Wars things. Like, there's just a lot. Star Wars YouTube channels. Star Wars series is probably my favorite. So there, to go beyond the movies. I really love Star Wars series, and his Vader episode 1 was awesome, and he's working hard on episode 2, but he's being safe because of the pandemic. People mix about that, like up his ass, and it's like, guys, there was a pandemic between the first episode.
But with that being said, Evan, aside from answering Star Wars trivia questions, what are some of your favorite things about Star Wars?
Is that a favorite thing, or does that, like, I feel like that must suck sometimes?
Oh no, it's great. It's so personal and lovely to me. I love conquering opponents. No, I like most of Star Wars. There's very few Star Wars things that I'm like, I have problems with that, like if something tells a cohesive story that I can see where they're going, I'm there till the end of the line. Like I really enjoy it. I don't know if y'all know this. I talk about this a lot on some after shows and stuff. One of my favorite Star Wars movies is The Last Jedi because it takes the direction of Star Wars and it makes us question it. It makes us rethink the way we thought about things. And I'm a massive, like, A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie, like, period. But like, I like things being recontextualized. I like things being questioned. And for me, questioning the motivations of this dude that I grew up with, like Luke Skywalker is like one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Being able to question him and like see why he's the way he is in that movie. And then having him in the end redeem himself and take on the mantle of being the legend of Luke Skywalker again was so meaningful and so powerful for me. So I adore that movie because it dared to take a risk. And I think in a time where like the formula of bigger properties is like it's pretty set in stone a lot of the time. Obviously there's some standouts all the time. Like I still do like the Marvel movies a lot. Like Endgame was one of the best experiences I've ever had in the theater, but like I really like it when these bigger productions take huge risks. And obviously that didn't work for a lot of people. But I will defend that movie till my dying breath because I think it's genuinely a really great story. I think it's misunderstood. And I love A New Hope, like I said, is it is my all-time favorite. Some days I like 3 the best at the same time. Some days I like 8 the best. It varies. But and I like The Mandalorian. I like Star Wars going back to like the roots of itself in kind of like older cinema. Like I think Star Wars is at its worst. I don't know who brought this up. When Star Wars is referencing, when it's trying to be too much like Star Wars, I think that's the problem. I think Star Wars is not about trying to be that. It's about echoing these old school kind of stories like the Westerns and the samurai movies. And I really like, I haven't seen that many samurai movies. Like I've seen a good handful, don't get me wrong, but like when it echoes those kind of movies, older, slow, emotional stories, that's what I like. For this Obi-Wan show that's coming out, this miniseries or whatever, I don't want it to be like, I don't want him to fight Vader again. I'm down for whatever they're going to show me, but like, I want it to be like, if it were up to me, it would be a 6-hour just drama, like total character drama, no action. I just want emotional, boring Star Wars stories, and that's what I like. I like the emotional stuff. So
yeah, I'm also of the camp of the Obi-Wan series that's coming out. I don't really want them to fight Vader. We know that Hayden Christensen is in this, but we don't know at this stage what capacity he's going to be in there. Because personally, I think if he fights Vader in this, it's going to make their
the way the dialogue is in A New Hope, it doesn't. It's obviously it's supposed to reference the Mustafar fight, but if they do fight it. It doesn't. It still can semi-match up to it. I mean, personally, I'm in that camp as well. I'd prefer, or if they do fight, I'd prefer it to be more a how do I say it? I prefer it to be more like kind of like the last episode of The Lost Mission with the fight with Darth Bane. Like I'd rather it be like kind of a nightmare of Obi-Wan or something. Like I don't know. Maybe he finds out. I mean, he knows who Darth Vader is because he knows his name. So maybe when he learns of that, he has like this nightmare. Like that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm with you, Gold Leader. I'd rather it be more of a drama, particularly if you know anything about Legends with how Uncle Owen was not a fan of Obi-Wan.
Right.
Because he's like, you got my half-brother killed, dude.
Yeah.
Why would I let you near his kid? Like, leave us alone. So I would want that. Also, I am so happy they bring back the actors who played Owen and Beru from the previous. I was championing that when I first heard about this. When I saw that cast, I was like, thank you so much.
It had to happen.
I'm so happy.
It's one of those things like with Star Wars, they don't recast sort of people just because they can.
I was pretty certain Joel Edgerton would come back. I was afraid they weren't going to bring up Beru because she's kind of just an Australian actress. She's not really. But I was really happy they reached back out to her. Joel Edgerton, obviously, because like Warrior and stuff, he's become kind of like a name since then. But I'm really happy because I'm like, yay, because I love Owen and Beru.
I am hoping there's a Qui-Gon connection of some kind, just because Qui-Gon's like my favorite Star Wars character.
He's one of my favorites too. I know Liam Neeson has said he's not doing anything.
I think he's going to be in it in some capacity, or at least mentioned.
I mean, Revenge of the Sith ends with Yoda saying, "You're going to go to Tatooine and learn from Qui-Gon."
Yeah.
Like I feel like at some point we have to see how Obi-Wan learned how to become one with the Force. I feel like he came back for Dark Knight Rises for one scene, for crying out loud. I feel like he could come back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
He still has the lightsaber. We all saw the Jimmy Kimmel.
It's probably also going to depend on how busy he is too. Because he said it seems like he's in
Skype to record his voice. Just kind of have it
that's what I was going to get. Just like I think it's one of those times. I think if they go, it's like, look, you don't have to fly out here to film your scene. You can actually just record your.
You want to do it in your bathroom? You do it in your bathroom, Liam.
Because it's one of those ones like it's not like we really. I don't think we really need to see Qui-Gon in this, but I think we.
Unless I'm mistaken, and I feel like because I'm not really into canon stuff too much. I'm more into Legends. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's now in canon. It's that the reason why we can't see Qui-Gon's ghost is because he didn't do everything he was supposed to do before he died. Like I heard that.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not the one in Trivia League, so
yeah, it's. I mean, it's a little out of my depth too. I mean, because I'm not forced to study the TV shows yet. But like, I mean, in the Clone Wars on Mortis, he did manifest, but that was like a Force haven. And then Anakin later on mentions he's like, we don't know if that was real or not. Like, we don't know if that was a vision
that's how
or
the
what.
episode, the trilogy of those episodes ends. Is like it might have happened, might not have happened.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
the sister was in the last episode. So
Yeah.
I
I loved that Mortis trilogy. Like, I love that whole arc. That was awesome.
talk about Qui-Gon. I'm still in the middle of actually reading Master of the Apprentice right now. Loving it. It's great.
But yeah, like for me, like I love all the movies. Like, I'm one of the ones that do like the sequel trilogy. While I kind of wish the story was a little bit more cohesive, and because I'm a big defender of the Rise of Skywalker, partly because it's one of those ones that I can see what they're trying to do. I think it's because Rian Johnson chose to ignore a lot of what JJ set up, so JJ had to push a whole bunch of stuff that he wanted to into this one movie, and I think if some of it was sort of included in The Last Jedi, maybe not so much like take Rian Johnson's vision of the story completely out, but as sort of things to sort of lay breadcrumbs.
If the story was handled like the original trilogy was, which was each movie had a different, well, Jedi and Empire had the same screenwriter. Lucas wrote the screenplay for himself, but Lucas was always the story person. He had the one continuous story that he had control over, while Gary Kurtz on the first two had a lot of control too, and then they had a falling out. The problem was each director was also the story person as well. And so, like, JJ, Mr. Mystery Box, did his mystery box thing. And then when Rian showed up, he did his own thing and ignored JJ's mystery box. And then JJ came back and was like, well, I had some plans, but he pulled the Thanos. He was like, I'll do it myself. It's a Infinity Gauntlet. And it's just a mess of, it's unfortunate that there was just no overall story, and that was like, you could do like a Curb Your Enthusiasm where it's like, we have point A and B, what you want to do in the middle to get from point A to B, do it, but there was no established point A and B.
Here's my thing with that. I think that not having a plan was actually working for a time. I think this is the thing with my opinions on Rian Johnson's vision for the movie. I don't think it's like he came in and ignored these things. I think he took what he was given with The Force Awakens, and I think a lot of these things that are set up, like I don't think JJ was setting up some mystery for Snoke. Like we didn't need to know who he was. I don't think that was like I think fans made that a thing. I didn't really give a shit. And then there were like other things, like Rey's lineage was definitely set up as like a question that we all had. And yeah, I mean, basically that's it. Like Luke, why was Luke on the island? That's another thing. He capitalized really hard on that one. Like Luke being on the island, perfect reason for me. I love that. I thought that was so moving. But then everything with Snoke, I think, is great because I think we view Snoke too much as an important character on his own, whereas Snoke is just a literary device. He is the hill that Kylo Ren has to climb to develop his character. And once he does, fuck it, like Snoke is out of the picture. That's everything you need. Rey's lineage, it is such a good capitalization of that storyline to take, oh, who is she? Why? Like, then to make us think like, oh, why did we need her to be somebody? Why did we need her to be? I thought she was Luke's daughter coming out of The Force Awakens. I was totally in that hype too. But then coming out of The Last Jedi, I'm like, oh yeah, she doesn't need to be like connected to somebody. She's like her own person. Like that's everything that Star Wars is about. You don't have to have some great background to do great things. Like, I mean, all of our heroes come from fucking desert planets, and they all come from nothing. And so Rey literally coming from like people who just sold her for drinking money was really compelling for me. And I'm not trying to bitch about Rise of Skywalker either, but like I think that's the movie where things kind of turned and they started playing a different kind of ball game. And suddenly the movie's about Palpatine, and it's like, well, we set up Kylo for a reason. And I think that's where the plan stopped working for me, or the lack of a plan stopped working for me.
Yeah, I think I think if it was me, if I was to sort of do it, is I probably would have put some hints that Palpatine was still around in Force Awakens.
Sure.
Like if that's where you because I mean, this was I think JJ would have had to know somewhat of where he wanted it to end.
Right. Sure.
Because it's one of those ones like when you're telling a story, you want to try to imagine how would he end it if he is the one that it will end up entering. Because as we know, like it wasn't always going to be J.J. Abrams; it was going to be another different director. So who knows what we could have gotten in the end? But it's just one of those ones like I was always in the camp when the Last Jedi came out that I still believe that Rey was going to end up being connected to someone. As to who, I just had no idea yet. Because I like my whole thinking of this was that Kylo was just saying that you're just nobody. You're not related to anyone. Like to try and get her to go to the dark.
That's
side.
also a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
And now that was my theory going out of that. So and it's.
I agree with you, Malcolm. I felt after I came out of that movie that he was to pull from another franchise. He was pulling kind of like a Splinter from the first Ninja Turtles movie. How like you come from nowhere.
IG. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Like I'm your father now. Like kind of just classic like cultish stuff. Just like you're no one. I can make you someone. Like I kind of thought that as well. Mostly because they focused on for so much of that movie is who's that girl? What's it just to me when I watched The Last Jedi, I felt like I didn't feel like that was the direction. And I mean look, she's a Palpatine. I had thousands of theories as did everyone, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, and there was sort of in Legends, there was the Jedi Prince book series to where one of the main characters is Palpatine's grandson in that book series, so it's not without precedent that Sheev got around Naboo and left some seed.
Well, this is the canon answer, I don't. Oh, sorry, you lagged out. I didn't know you were. I was saying this is the canon answer. So this is actually the thing about because I was like, wait, does Palpatine fuck? I was so excited about that prospect, but the answer so. Rey's father is a clone of Palpatine. Like he's not his child. He's a clone, which is super weird. I was like, really? I mean, like that's very strange.
Fett precedence for that?
No. Yeah, no. I totally. It's like it's weird. Okay, and it's not beyond Palpatine's character to have a contingency. Also, like he totally would. But I will say, and I don't hate The Rise of Skywalker for future reference. It is. I don't like to say least favorites, but it is technically my least favorite Star Wars movie. But there are moments in that movie that still make me tear up. Like I love some parts of that movie. But I remember hearing in like probably this was like 2010. I learned that Palpatine survives in Legends back when everything was the same canon. Everything was all like united and everything. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, Palpatine survives. Like, oh, that sucks. And I'm just being honest. This is what I thought at the time. I was like, oh, I hate that. Like that kind of ruins the end of Return of the Jedi for me. And I was like, 14-year-old me was like broken. I was like, for like a couple days, I was just like, damn, that messed me up. And then when the canon got wiped, I guess it was 2014 or so. I was like, so Palpatine died, and obviously now it's
Dark Empire is edgy. It's a pretty decent comic book.
No, I don't doubt that either.
Now it's pretty good. Which is why when they did it in the movie, I was like, I mean, they didn't in Legends, so there's precedence for this in Star Wars' past anyway. So
I will say Palpatine also. While I don't necessarily like him being in the movie, he's so cool in that movie.
Oh, he's super.
He's so awesome.
Ian McDermott must have had a field day doing that. He's like, I get to be super creepy and I'm missing big. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
Awesome. When he drains the life energy out of Rey and Kylo and he says, "Look what you have made," chills like all over my. Like he's so creepy. It's awesome. And the Sith cultists in the crowd is bone chilling. It's awesome.
I mean, this might be a
it's so
random.
that's so creepy too. Like just the black cloaked faces. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, this may be random, but I can't wait to see how that final scene in Rise of Skywalker actually plays out in the upcoming Lego Star Wars The Skywalker
Oh
saga.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
dropping
gonna be an
so excited.
awesome level. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a great level. I bet
That
you
game
you're
is
gonna.
gonna be
It's probably
sweet.
gonna be like the Count Dooku level in the Attack of the Clones, to where it's like one person's getting hit with lightning, the other person's gotta hit him with
The
the
other person's got to
lightsaber.
go around. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go around.
Yeah. I
Which is
love
always
that
really
game.
difficult when you're not playing with someone else. You gotta like quickly change to the other.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I
Hit
have my
circle,
brother.
go,
and we
go.
co-host. Thankfully, I have my brother.
Yeah,
We'd
I'll
be
be
able
done.
to play together.
Yeah.
If that game ever comes out, which
I know. I'm hoping it does
at
soon.
this point,
Well, yeah, I've got it on pre-order at the moment. It's, I mean, at this
You can
stage, I
pre-order
think it's. Yeah, like it's been on pre-order since it was announced. It's just one of those for me. But it's one of those ones they don't cancel pre-orders just because they've been delayed. But
Right. No. Sure.
yeah.
but
No.
yeah, I think it's going to be out by the end of the year. I think a lot of people. That's what a lot of people are thinking at this stage.
Fingers crossed.
Open. I'm just not looking forward to them talking. I know
Yeah.
that's the new thing in Lego games, but
I'm cool with it for the reason that like they do different lines apparently. Like I think they come in and do different readings, which
no,
is kind
that's
of
fine.
fun.
But part of the
Yeah.
comedy of the old Lego
No,
games
yeah,
is that
it's
it
super
was, like,
charming when they don't talk.
especially like I get people's arguments, and like Lego Batman was the first time
Yeah.
there was like an original story, so it was kind of hard to follow. But for Star Wars, it's like funny to see. Like the one that cracks me up the most is Luke, I'm your father. Like, how do you
Yeah.
show that when they
Gets
can't
the-
talk, and pulling out the Polaroid to be like, see, that's you
Yeah,
as in the belly,
Awesome.
and that's me. Like,
fantastic.
like it's just the I just imagine the people doing that were such Star Wars fans and just had a
Mhm.
field day of like, how do we show this? What do we do? Like the first time I
Fantastic.
played Lego Jurassic World, it was a little jarring for me to be like,
Yeah.
oh god, they're talking.
Right.
Still a fun game.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like, I like the. When it comes to the Lego games, I like the
We've had
ones
this
that.
conversation off air many times now.
Well, I mean, it's what I was getting is, I do like the ones that they talk. It didn't bother me that much. It's also one of those ones like I like it when they actually create new dialogue, especially when it comes to the Marvel side of things. Because like Lego Marvel Superheroes, they created an all new story and dialogue for that. Some of them, and I think the Lego Jurassic Park one is a big proprietor of that. A lot of the voice audio stuff is just ripped from.
Yeah,
the
it's just
movies.
sound bites from the movies.
And I mean, it's like, well, if you're going to do voices, do it that have them do like funny lines or something that relate to that. I think they did get them to record some lines, but I think even then, but most of these actual lines are just ripped from the movie.
I was
But
gonna say, and I feel like look, you're not getting Harrison Ford in a recording booth for a
That would be
Lego game.
incredible. If they
It'd be
could- if they could
great,
do it.
but like Harrison's like, they let me fucking kill
No.
him off. I came back for the last one in case Carrie passed away. I'm not doing this shit again.
They just use lines from The Fugitive or something, just like to make anything fit.
Okay, no, I'd fucking love that.
Yeah.
It's like I've always been a proponent of. I want a Batman game to where it's just like when he's intimidating criminals, it's just Christian Bale's rant from the set
Yeah,
of Terminator
that's great.
Salvation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if they,
Batman told him to do it's like, give me a fucking answer.
but with that being said, I'm going to move on to, as I like to do quite often, is do a bracket.
Yeah.
Usually
With this,
fun for the first round, but then once we get to the latter rounds, oh Jesus!
Oh hell yeah.
What is this bracket of exactly?
well, essentially what I've done is I went down Rotten Tomatoes, and and it's all the movies, TV series, and stuff. So I took the Rotten Tomatoes, and that's how I seeded them. Because there was a few extra ones in here. There's going to be some essentially play-in matches to take on. But you'll
Okay.
find out when I get. But I've got the Phantom Menace up against the original Star Wars Holiday Special. And I'll start off here. I haven't seen the original Holiday Special. I've seen bits and pieces, but I do enjoy the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts on this one?
I have seen the original holiday special in its entirety, but the Phantom Menace is my favorite prequel, so I'm giving the vote to that. Though the animated portion of the holiday special is great, which is on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
yeah.
It's in the
now.
vintage collection, yeah.
Um,
But they'll be nice to George and not release the whole thing.
but with that, the Phantom Menace will move on. But Evan, what have been your thoughts on this?
I have seen the holiday special like a dozen times. I think okay, so I also thought the cartoon was awesome before, and then I watched it and I was like, it's not. It's just not. It's the only thing that's not like making you want to claw your eyes out.
No, it's the only semi-Star Wars thing because everything
Yeah.
else in there, it's a variety show. It's the
Yeah,
Brady
Chris-
Bunch variety show with a Star Wars dressing over
Chris
it.
Stuckman said it's like finding a rock in a pile of shit. It's like, well, it's not shit.
I mean, it's the only time we're ever going to get Harrison Ford doing the voice of Han
Yeah.
Solo in an animated project. So
Yeah, but I would
Yeah.
I would still say Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is genuinely an awesome movie for me. I love that movie.
But next up, we've got
Oh,
Solo: A Star Wars Story up against Ewoks: The Battle for Endor. Matt, I'm going to start with you on this.
I genuinely like the Ewok movies. I've always given credit to Battle for Endor for how freaking dark the beginning of that movie is. But I love Solo: Star Wars Story, so I'm giving my vote to that one. Though Paul Gleason as the father of the John Wee clan is awesome, and I think my favorite moment is when he tells the Ewoks, "Don't mess with the bull, look at the horns." That's a breakfast
But,
reference.
But even what really bitch would you go for between Ewoks: Battle for Endor or Solo: A Star Wars Story?
so I've actually never seen the Ewok movies. I know I need to watch them.
They're
but
are they on Disney Plus as well, or am I mistaken? about
Yeah.
that?
I think they
Okay.
both are. Yeah.
I have
so
the
I've got-
DVD, which is out of print and is very, very pricey.
Fantastic.
Got that for $5 at Toys R Us back in.
I might have to do that actually. I might have to track the
They're-
copy down.
They're not horrible.
Yeah.
I have to say,
I
they're
don't
not
think they're
terrible.
horrible. I literally I've sat through the holiday special multiple times, so I
Oh,
could start
they're-
with the Ewok
They're a
movies.
step above
Yeah.
that. Like they're made.
they got
for-
Wilford
they're
Brimley,
movies made
right?
for TV movies.
Yeah. Wilford Brimley's in them.
Wilford
Um,
Brimley's in the second one.
Oh, he's I thought I
He's
didn't
only in the second one.
know. And then yeah, I'll just go Solo on this one. I like Solo.
Yeah, I also like Solo.
Also,
I
Malcolm
do
was
like
a
the
bone
Ewoks
to
movies.
pick with one of the Ewok actors. So
I was going to get to. I was going to get to that. I like, as people know, like I'm watching movies I haven't seen for the first time.
Yeah.
Every day. I saw these be put on Disney Plus, so I thought I watched these. Then when I put that post up, one of the Agnes was in it. I don't know how.
Mace Conley.
I don't know how Facebook algorithms work, but they came up on must have come up on his feed for some reason, and he liked that I watched them. I reached out to him to try and get him for an interview, but he said, "Oh yeah, sure." Then I never heard from him again.
Oh, no
You
shit.
pulled that Tom Dagnino on.
Was
you
it?
know?
Hey, watch your mouth. No.
It was Eric Walker who played.
Yeah, I was
Mace
about to say, is it
Conley.
Eric Walker? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'm
Mace
Facebook friends
Conley.
with him. I don't know if I still am or I was at one point.
Which I would love to interview him, considering
Yeah.
Mace Conley was my favorite character from those films.
Yeah.
But next up, we've got the aforementioned Rise of Skywalker up against the other Ewok movie, the Caravan of Courage. And Evan, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Because I haven't seen Caravan of Courage, I would say Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Rise of Skywalker on this. I do love both of these, but I do like Rise of Skywalker more.
Oh,
And Matt, whereabouts would you have gone on this?
Yeah, I like both of these. Caravan of Courage is my favorite of the Ewok movies, but Rise of Skywalker is the only film in the sequel trilogy I could say I love, so I would have given it to Rise of Skywalker.
And moving on, this is going to be an interesting one. We've got the Clone Wars movie up against Attack of the Clones.
Stinky! Don't tell them where that's from, Malcolm. They have to. That's an inside joke for any old school fans.
What I was about to say is, I meant to talk about this with moments, is I don't like the Clone Wars movie. I really don't. But I like the watch along that we did on Take 3 for the Clone Wars movie. I'm not going to say much about it because if you haven't seen it, go find the
Go watch
when we did Star Wars watch alongs and watch it.
You don't even have to watch the movie along with it. Believe me, the watch along is entertaining enough. Just know it was the last movie we watched in a whole day, and a lot of the legal members of Take 3 had medicated themselves for the Clone Wars. So by the end, I was sleep deprived, running on Skittles. It gets pretty fun by the end of that. I think we were barely even watching the movie at that point. So look it up.
Yeah. I mean, I know if Kristen is watching this, she's probably giving me out. But with that being said, Matt, which one are you going to go for?
I like the Clone Wars movie. It's not my favorite bit of the Clone Wars. I understand that it was the first 4 episodes kind of pushed together with a couple of additional scenes. So as a pilot for the show, I don't think it's that bad. But I love Attack of the Clones. But you can hear more about that on Second Look. Find the playlist on this channel. I talk a lot about it. I think there are a lot of great things in that film.
And Evan, where would you have gone on this?
I also like the Clone Wars movie. I don't really have any problems with it. It's the first few episodes of a children's TV show that blossoms into an incredible show. But I do like Attack of the Clones, like unironically. So I'm gonna say Attack of the Clones.
I mean, it's like I've always said, like Dave Filoni and his crew were making a TV show. George Lucas' song was like, I want that to be a movie in theaters.
Right.
Like, why would you say no to that? Like,
Right, no, seriously.
Why would you say no?
But moving on, into the main bracket now, we've got
That's
The
not
Mandalorian
fair.
up against Attack of the Clones. I'm gonna start on Matt.
I really like The Mandalorian, but you know what? I don't care about the hate I get. I love the prequels. I'm a prequelist. I'm going to Attack of the Clones.
Evan, were you going Attack of the Clones or The Mandalorian?
I'm taking this as if I could only have one of these and the other one is gone forever, I'm taking Attack of the Clones.
Oh, wow, I want to be alone on this one.
I'm going to. I mean, this is one I do like both of these.
No, I genuinely do. I'm in love with Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. And I mean, this is one that is tough for me, but I'm going to give my vote to Mandalorian, even though it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
So Attack of the Clones moves on. Next up, we've got Revenge of the Sith up against Star Wars Resistance. Evan, whereabouts are you going on this?
I am going to Revenge of the Sith very hard. That's like in my top 3 Star Wars movies. And I like Resistance. I think it's a fun show. But Revenge of the Sith is so good. Ignore my wife. I'm sorry.
So, but yeah, I'm actually going with Revenge of the Sith too. I mean, I liked the Resistance series. The Resistance series was a lot of fun. The animation I didn't like that much about it. But it's just one of those things. But it's going to move on regardless. But when Matt gets back, I'll probably go back to him a bit for that one.
Oh, there he is.
Matt, Revenge of Sith or Star Wars Resistance?
I've never seen an episode of Star Wars Resistance, so Revenge of the Sith. If I was able to vote.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked, but that's going to be interesting next matchup. Next up, we've got A New Hope up against Return of the Jedi. I'm going to go to Evan first on this.
It's close because I really love Return of the Jedi, man. But A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I'm going to give it to A New Hope.
Matt, A New Hope or Return of the Jedi?
I don't need to give poor Paul Deneuve how hard attack works, so I'm not going to say too much about Return of the Jedi, but A New Hope is where all the great stuff from where Star Wars spawned from, so A New Hope.
But yeah, A New Hope is going to move on. I personally probably would have gone New Hope too, but just because I know Mark Ellis will be sad if no one goes Return of the Jedi, I'm going to do this.
And Mark Ellis does watch our show. At least we like couple.
But
Well,
next
not
up,
anymore, but
this is going to be another unfair one because we've got the Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's a rise of
this is why I
Snow.
hate your brackets, Malcolm.
It's a slam dunk for me. I don't know what y'all are about.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to go Empire Strikes Back. It's one of my favorites for a reason. One Skywalker is up there, but yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker is up there, but I said at the top. Empire is my favorite movie, period. So I have to vote Empire.
Yeah.
And Evan.
Like required by law.
Empire also.
And plus, we didn't need all the Star Wars fanboys coming after us because Empire Strikes Back lost.
Oh, if you would have put Last Jedi against Empire, though, I'm taking Last Jedi. Star Wars
Next
fanboys
up,
would hate me for that one.
We've got Star Wars Rebels up against the Phantom Menace. Matt.
I thought Rebels was fine, but the Phantom Menace is a fine wine, so I'm going with the Phantom Menace. See what I did there, Malcolm? It's clever.
Yeah, I mean the one thing that surprised me going down the Rotten Tomatoes is Star Wars Rebels has a higher Rotten Tomatoes critic score than Empire Strikes Back.
Well, also, how many people are reading Empire Strikes Back on Rotten Tomatoes now? Like, how many people are really doing that?
I mean, I'm surprised a lot of people are rating Star Wars Rebels on Rotten Tomatoes, to be honest. But anyway, even Phantom Menace or Star Wars Rebels.
I love Rebels. Rebels is a great show. But Phantom Menace is a classic. I mean, people shit on the politics, but the politics are what make it so good to me.
But yeah, I'm also going Phantom Menace on this. I do love Star Wars Rebels too. I think that was a great show, but it's like Phantom Menace is an underrated movie.
Did that say Rebels is number one? Is the number one seed?
Rebels, as I said, that's how I said this is the Rotten Tomatoes critic score on
To quote Christian Bale, Rotten Tomatoes, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.
But next up, we've got Rogue One up against The Last Jedi.
So easy for me.
And Evan, I'm going to go to you.
Easily. I mean, I love Rogue One. Don't get me wrong. Rogue One is a cool movie. Last Jedi is a soul movie for me, man. I love that movie. So, Last Jedi.
I'm going Last Jedi on this.
Yes.
As well. I mean, this is one like. Either way, I love both of these movies.
Yeah.
And if you ask me tomorrow, I could probably go Rogue One easily. And it's just, but Matt, whereabouts would you have gone?
Rogue One, and I'll just leave it there because there's no need to fan the names with my feelings about The Last Jedi.
Next,
it's called Star Wars. Rogue One's the only war movie. Come on, guys.
But next up, we've got Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV series up against the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. But yeah, I'm actually going the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I've seen bits and pieces of the Clone Wars, but not enough for me to really like it. Yet I do plan on actually sitting down and actually watching
Well,
the series from
just-
start to finish.
For my own, is the Clone Wars, we're talking about the Dave Filoni series or the Tartakovsky series?
This is the Dave Filoni one because that one's
Okay.
just Star Wars Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't find the other one on Rotten Tomatoes, so I
Yeah.
just left. But Matt, whereabouts are you going with this?
I thought the holiday special was cute. I felt like the trailers leaned really heavily on the whole time travel thing, and that was like a very small section. But that's neither here nor there. Clone Wars. It's my favorite Star Wars show.
Which means,
so.
Evan is the deciding vote.
I'm also going the Clone Wars. There's so many great episodes of that show that changed the game. So yeah, I would say that. But I love Lego Star Wars Holiday Special too. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah. And the last one is we got Solo: A Star Wars Story up against The Force Awakens. Look, I actually love The Force Awakens.
Mhm.
And I'm going. Oh, that's where I'm going with this. Matt, what about you?
I'm going Solo.
Evan.
People should talk The Force Awakens because of A New Hope similarities, but I don't think it feels exactly like A New Hope. I think that's what's important. The characters feel very different, even though they have similar appearances or similar backgrounds. Plus, the scene when Poe and Finn escape the Star Destroyer together is so charming. I love that movie. So, Force Awakens for me.
Force Awakens moves on. Moving into round 2, that's going to start going there. Force Awakens up against Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Matt.
Clone Wars.
Evan.
I'd also go to Clone Wars, actually.
I am going Force Awakens, not that it matters.
That's right.
And next up on this side, got the Phantom Menace up against The Last Jedi. Evan.
Oh, it's still kind of easy for me, actually. I would take The Last Jedi. Although, if I could choose, I'd like to have all 6 movies, 6 of the original Lucas movies together, but Last Jedi is up there.
But just because I know where Matt's going to go, I'm going to go to him now. Where are you going, Matt?
Phantom Menace. Anyone knows me knows my love of that film.
Which means it's on me to do the tiebreaker.
I know what you. I kind of think I know where you're going.
Do you? Do you really? I'm going Last Jedi.
The
I mean, it's one of those, I like both of these movies, but Last Jedi is still a little bit higher than Phantom Menace on my list for me. But I'm not going to bother doing that one just yet. We're going to move on to get this other one side. We got Attack of the Clones up against Revenge of the Sith. Evan.
I like Attack of the Clones a lot. Like, I actually love that movie. Revenge of the Sith is, like I said, some days it's my favorite Star Wars movie, so I'll go Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I'm going Revenge of the Sith as well. It's easily the best of the prequels. Matt, whereabouts are you going?
Paul and Richard hate me for this, but Attack of the Clones.
It's okay. All opinions are valid.
I don't know why Paul will hate you about Star Wars. I don't think Ed Harris is in any of them.
Oh, you jerk. Let's start them off on that, man.
But next up, we've got Empire Strikes Back up against A New Hope. Evan.
I'm going A New Hope on this one.
I'm going Empire Strikes Back.
Damn.
Matt.
It's a lot closer than people think because A New Hope is my number 2 to Empire, but I have to give it to Empire just ever so slightly.
But Empire moves on. We've got Empire Strikes Back up against Revenge of the Sith. Matt,
Empire. Although I like Revenge of the Sith a lot, but Empire.
Evan.
It's actually really easy for me. I'm going Revenge of the Sith. Like my enjoyment of Sith is so much higher than that of Empire for me. But that's just me personally.
Part of me wants to be an agent of chaos and just cause chaos with this. But I've got to be honest with myself here. It's Empire Strikes Back.
Fuck.
I kind of thought Malcolm might have won Sith. Maybe.
I mean, it's one of those ones like, if you look on my Star Wars thing, Empire Strikes Back is, I think it's either my number 1 or my number 2. I can't quite remember but like there's no way I'd sort of sacrifice my own opinions on this just to cause chaos in a bracket, which ultimately is going to mean anything.
True.
And then over to the other side. I like the fact I found out how to actually do double sides on this website.
I was going to say, I feel like I'm not used to seeing it.
We've got The Last Jedi up against Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV series. And I'm going to start off here. It's Last Jedi for me.
Yeah, well, the movie you've seen up against the thing you've seen parts of. I'm so shocked.
But Matt, really going on
Clone
this.
Wars.
Evan.
Hey, I've seen all of the Clone Wars. I'm still going Last Jedi.
And that's fine. I'm saying Malcolm. I'm just saying this voting is.
Dude, no, you just told me that you hate me. I heard it. I heard it with my own ears.
That's fine.
And which means our finals is Empire Strikes Back up against The Last Jedi. Matt.
Short, simple, to the point. Empire.
Last Jedi.
Evan.
Yeah, I'm actually going Last Jedi here. I think I'd rather watch that movie most times. So yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, I mean, I love The Last Jedi. It's fun, but this bracket is going to go the way we think. Even though Luke will try to tell us otherwise. But it's Empire Strikes Back.
Nice. I'm okay with this.
Stop sharing that.
No, it's cool. Was that a new update, Malcolm, or you just had to change something different to get the 2-sided bracket?
I looked in settings, and I found that it had the option to do double-sided bracket.
Nice.
Wow. Well, damn.
Go from here.
But yeah, Malcolm, you should check out the Clone Wars series. Definitely, it's really great. I'm into that.
We got our first ever super chat. I'm excited.
Oh, wait,
Is it
really?
real? Yeah. Wow. Oh my god.
I wasn't lying.
Money
Trust me, I love Empire, but like, I like The Last Jedi more.
But that being said, I know we talked briefly about. I don't know what to talk about now.
I'm just shocked that we have a super chat. Someone actually paid us for this.
Yeah. But I mean, it's. I don't know. I didn't know you were. Just blown away by seeing a super chat in there.
Just mid sentence.
Someone knows it now. Come.
Yeah, no, I'm going
to cut the black.
I mean, no, I mean, we had it's one of those. I'm going to bring back this game because when I created it for the crossovers episode, we had a lot of fun with it. But it's going to be a slightly different take than the way we did it last time because we're already talking about a franchise. It's just going to be we're going to merge Star Wars with whatever comes up on that reel. once I actually bring up that reel, that might actually help.
Oh damn.
But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of franchises on here. And yes, Star Wars. I didn't take Star Wars off, but it's going to make this weird when we go Star Wars across Star Wars. But I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever franchise comes up, we're going to pitch a crossover with that franchise. And as I said earlier, it's going to be Star Wars crossing over with whatever spins on the wheel.
Okay.
So, and I mean, this.
Oh
I've,
my
this
Oh wow.
but we're going to do a crossover between Star Wars and the TV show Community.
Yeah. All right.
Which effectively has already happened because there was that one of the Paintball episodes which does reference Star Wars a little bit.
The last episode of season 2 is literally a parody of Star Wars.
But,
So just pitch that episode.
But yeah, because of that, I'm going to spin that again.
I was going to say Stormtrooper Night School.
Best to be able to.
Doctor Who. All right. I could do it.
But yeah, we're going to be doing
Which
Star Wars
Doctor?
crossing over with Doctor Who. It can be whatever Doctor you want.
Well, Tom
But,
Baker would make sense if we're talking originals. If we're
And he's in
that
Rebels
time, yeah.
also.
He is. Yeah, he plays. What is it?
He's
The
the
Bendu.
Bendu.
Yeah, he plays Bendu, so that just makes sense there. I think that is the crossover. There we go. We've solved it again. Thank you, television. It makes me so.
I mean,
it's
look, this is,
crazy. He's a Time Lord, and there's a bunch of problems that start happening. You know, someone, because they haven't done it yet, but, well, no. Just do the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, except have Doctor Who show up, because Ray starts screwing with the timeline. He's going to help her put it back. There you go.
Wow.
I would actually love to have seen that. To see, I mean, they had Pierre Capaldi did the voice for Lego Dimensions, so it's not that far away for getting them to come back to do that. I don't think, although I think by that point, when did that come out last year or the year before? It's Pierre.
it would have been the year before, because it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, so Jodie Whittaker was still in it. Well, fine, bring in Jodie Whittaker, because maybe she could be given some better content to current.
I mean, talking about that has actually just come out there. Jodie Whittaker's leaving the show after this next season.
Sense. She's not a favorite Doctor, but she's just kind of been saddled with.
Oh damn.
No, that's a good crossover too. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston. I see that. There's a lot of Doctors that I believe, because I feel like each one would be like if you throw in Matt Smith there, he would just have such a ball. Him and Amy running around. Tom Baker would be like. There's David Tennant. Oh man, David Tennant.
Actually, I think if I remember rightly, wasn't Matt Smith in one of the sequels, or was as a storm? I think he was either. I think he was supposed to be in a Star Wars movie, or rumored, or something.
I feel like I remember hearing that. Somewhere.
Matt Smith, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Matt Smith was rumored to be in episode 9 for a while, but I think he was.
That's what I think is. Yeah,
either cut or.
I think his scene was deleted.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Let's see what else we're gonna get here.
Oh shit!
I
mean, the Schmodown is kind of like that already, right?
What the hell, Malcolm? Why did you want to talk about WWE and Star Wars? You don't want Vince McMahon to be. Oh man!
I mean, just because it's going to be similar to what we did with Doctor Who, is like time travel and so.
Marty, you gotta come back with me. Where? Back to Tatooine. Never played Final Fantasy.
Oh no, I'm not either. Actually, I always used to get this mixed up with Soul Calibur because Soul Calibur actually had Star Wars in it for the fourth game, I think.
I feel like I remember, that was around the time Force Unleashed was coming out because it was Yoda, Vader,
was Star Killer,
and
yeah.
were all. Although at the time he was the apprentice because they didn't want
Yeah.
to get his name, but yeah, I remember that. Another example of why Star Wars characters don't work in a fighting game because the lightsabers are just like wiffle ball bats. Because those games should end with just I
cut
won
and
that
it's
match.
over. Yeah, that's true.
Masters of
But yeah,
tie anyone?
yeah. I mean, like this is one that I was kind of hoping that they would have done in the Kingdom Hearts series, but like and have a Star Wars world. Because I know there's a long rumor that Star Wars and Marvel are going to be included in the next Kingdom Hearts game, which as it turned out it wasn't going to never happen now. But but I would imagine that there could be something like this, like they find a way to do a game which Star Wars and Final Fantasy and all that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, but I think I'll do one more.
Oh yeah, let's get a strong one. Let's get one that I can
I was gonna
kick my
say.
teeth in. Oh, neat. Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's a very solid one.
So it is Pirates of the Caribbean, but with Hondo Onaka. And that is
He's Jack
everything.
Sparrow, or he's working with Jack.
He's Jack Sparrow. Or they could work together, I guess.
Yeah, they can work together. I feel like
Jack has to be in space, not Hondo on Earth. It has to be that way. But yeah, Hondo is the perfect. He's a pirate. I mean, through and through, he's a pirate.
And they both are just trying to undercut each other.
Yeah,
and then Will
swindling.
Turner, I feel like I could see him and Han teaming up to do so. I could see that pairing working out.
Right. That'd be fantastic.
Hondo is the rum gun.
Pirates of the Caribbean star system.
Yeah, pirate world.
I mean, at this point, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are just doing weird enough stuff. I'd buy it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those ones. We went through this very quickly.
Yeah, we're not going. It's not Malcolm. It's not like when I pitched the crossover between Predator and Superstore, and I got or Die Hard and Mamma Mia, which was also great. Kung Fu Panda. I haven't seen that movie in so long. But Jack Black in Star Wars would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be
as a
fantastic.
panda.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised they haven't found a place for Jack Black, because I think he'll be. There's quite a lot of voices he could have done as a Star Wars character.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes. Well, there was a crossover with the MTV Movie Awards when Jimmy Fallon as Anakin did his impression.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jack Black. I killed that Younglings Asian Comedy Club. Dudes, I'm kidding. I never did stand up. I love that.
But Star Wars and the Wizarding. I mean, Star Wars crossing over for the Wizarding World. This is
Harry Potter.
one that. Yeah. This one I haven't quite figured out how to cross them over yet, but it's just one of those ones.
Deathmatch episode where Luke Skywalker fought Harry Potter, which was a pretty interesting episode.
Celebrity Deathmatch is still going?
No, it's called Deathmatch. I forgot what channel it's on. It's a pretty fun show. But now I'm trying to think of how. I mean, Voldemort fails to take over a high school, so the Emperor shows up and is like, "I'll show you how it's done." The Emperor comes in and
guys, listen, Lucasfilm, hire these guys. Let me tell you.
That's one of my favorite memes. I forgot what movie Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver did together, but where it's like you know why Darth Vader's better than Voldemort? Darth Vader ruled the galaxy. Voldemort couldn't even take over a high school.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm like, it's true.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah, no, it
I
is.
like Harry Potter, but it's like, well, you really look at Voldemort. He gets his ass kicked trying to take over a high school. That's it.
And it's one of those ones that when you think about it, like they have someone's actually done a crossover. Well, not specific, but I know there's the how it should have been made villains pub. They often do every now and then, which has Voldemort and the Emperor in there.
They also there's a lot of crossover with the actors too. Like Lucius Malfoy is the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As well.
a lot of the British people, because the British
I mean,
and Star Wars loves
I mean, to be fair, Jason Isaacs has been in just about a lot of different franchises at
For
this
sure.
point.
Yeah, he's been in. He's technically. Wow.
He's
I just
also
whenever I
in
think
Star-
of Jason Isaacs, I just think of the Patriot, which is not franchise.
he's also in the Star Trek. He's also in Star Trek Discovery.
That's right. Yeah, he's on Discovery. Yeah, he has his foot in both sci-fi camps.
But this will be the absolute last one.
The act.
Oh hell yes!
Yes.
Hell yeah!
It's pretty simple. So we all know that huts on Tatooine, they love running underground pod racing. So what do? Start doing a fight club, okay?
Yeah,
And we
right.
Rocket Balboa, he shows up there because it's kind of a similar setup to Superman versus Muhammad Ali. You know, champions of the greatest champions of every galaxy are gonna fight. So we get Rocket Balboa versus Chewbacca. That's the fight. You know, it's like he's not wearing no pants. It's a little weird, Nick. I'll just beat him up, and and we get hot sound fire. It'd be great, and he's doing his space workout, so he's in zero gravity. It'd be great. It'd be beautiful.
Here's what we do.
Stallone.
Kitster from Tatooine has to box his way to freedom.
Is Rocky.
That is exactly, he is Rocky in the movie. That's exactly what we're doing.
Did you ever see the meme where it's just it's the shot of Qui-Gon holding up after one. It's just
Kitster's
kind of kicks her
free,
like this, and it's like when your best friend just won his freedom and you realize you're still a slave, and it's like, oh yeah, Kitster, that kind of sucks for him, doesn't it?
That is horrible. It's a tragic.
We never see him again, and he's not in Attack of the Clones. There's no, hey, Kitster, you bought your freedom. Good for you. Out there with that bomb in his head.
But yeah, I'm not going to bother spinning the wheel for this one because I know I'm going to do business just for Abe's purposes. We go to cross over Star Wars with Mamma Mia.
Oh wow!
It's pretty easy to do. It's pretty easy to do. So this is sort of an alternate universe Attack of Clones to where before Padme and Anakin did their thing. Padme on without she got involved with a couple of different people, Clovis, maybe Palpatine, Steelo Bibble, all this, and so she doesn't know who the dad is. We all know it is Anakin. Just like as Take Free voted, we all know Sam is the real father. That's how it works. There you go.
Mama Shmia.
It's right. I had a different take on this
Look,
one.
Malcolm, I did the best take with the Die Hard Mamma Mia crossover, so I'm kind of burnt out on great crossovers, and I need that to be a thing still.
I didn't say I had the best take, because
you can't beat my Die Hard Mamma Mia, so.
No, but for me, I'm going to merge in a time traveling element somehow, and you get Jake Lloyd, Anakin, Hayden Christensen's Anakin, and Darth Vader all in the same planes of existence. They all turn up at
Sebastian Shaw
at Luke's on Arc 2, and Luke has to try and work out which one is his real father.
Oh shit!
That doesn't make because they're all his real father. They're all the same guy.
No, it's.
I mean, Hayden Christensen is technically the one who I guess technically did the work, but Jake Lloyd grew into Hayden Christensen, who grew into Vader.
Yes, but Luke doesn't know this.
Right.
He especially if they all time travel.
Well, I would certainly hope he could immediately knock out the 9-year-old as being his father.
That's also true. That is fair. Probably not. It's probably not going to be little Jake.
Probably not the 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Wizards.
Yeah.
As he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. He's actually 40. He just looks like he's 9. Yeah.
It's like Baby Doll from Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
But on that note, we have come to the end of the show. I don't know what the topic will be next week. I haven't thought that far ahead. I should really start doing that more often. But I'll probably announce it on the page. But Matt, where
Or
can
we
people
do
find
Mighty
you
Ducks.
online?
Let's do Mighty Ducks now. It got renewed for season 2.
Oh wait, Mighty Ducks did?
Precedence.
Oh weird.
Anyway, Matt, where can people find you online?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matt on Twitter, MattMovies611 on YouTube, and right here as host of the Fandom Podcast. Episode was released about 2 weeks ago. Me and Abe sat down and we talked about, of course, in my hand, Mamma Mia. Yeah, we did that. And a new episode, if I get recording times worked out, should be coming out soon. Still hard at work on the hunt for October episode of Second Look, but I can't make any promise. It's definitely not going to come out by the end of this month because of another project I'm working on, which will be announced pretty soon. But yeah, it's a pretty big episode for Hunt for October because that's a pretty big movie to dive into. There's a lot of stuff, so I loved part of the second one, but you can hear all about what I loved and didn't love on the Phantom Podcast episode of Mamma Mia, which I think has more likes than like several videos I've done, and I've been working on this channel for 5 years almost. Except for my Boss Baby 2 review. Which, by the way, why is Boss Baby Family Business not in the top 5? Why did the box office fail us again?
Because people are watching it on Peacock.
I mean, it's still a future Oscar winner, so.
But with that being said, Evan, we can people find you online.
Look at me right here at Evan Bush Carter. I am on Twitter. That's where I post most of my stuff. I also have a podcast on Facebook called Nobody's Watching Anyway. We only put it on Facebook again. I don't fucking know why, but find me there.
On Anchor, brah.
I know I should.
It's really easy, actually. I never started doing that until Fans Podcast. It's actually extremely easy.
On Twitter, I am currently in this phase where I'm doing drawings of myself. I drew this picture of me a while back with a really tiny head. And I was like, maybe I should. I drew this like the next day. It's me as a clone on Camino.
It looks like some of the Ventura brothers. Like like Adult Swim. I'm not sure if you ever watched that show.
So I've seen bits and pieces actually. But no, I haven't watched a lot of it. But I have recently begun taking commissions for $10, folks. If you send me $10, my Cash App info is on Twitter. I will turn myself into whatever fictional character you want. I've done it a bunch of people are actually doing it. People are actually paying me money to do it.
He's like, I'll draw you into a searcher. No, you get a picture of me.
No, it's me. It is pictures of me.
Guys, that's what playing the Schmoedown gets you. You'll get people to pay. You draw pictures as whatever you would like. Can I commission you to draw a picture as you as Malcolm?
Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. Here's my most recent one. I got commissioned to draw myself as the Dinkster from Spy Kids 2.
The Dinkster.
Somebody ring the Dinkster.
The Dinkster. God.
Yeah, so that's me as the Dinkster. So hit me up there. Send me $10, and I will draw whatever you want me to draw myself as. And yeah, so that's where you find me.
Now I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah. Do it. Send me $10.
But with the robot.
But with that being said,
Dinky, yeah.
But with that being said, you can find me on Tape V hosting Rankum every Saturday night. This week is Top Shelf Acting Performances in the Arrowverse. This one that would have been last week had my internet decided it wasn't going to go. But you can also find me on late night every Sunday hosting this topic still to be decided. You can find me on Full Metal where I host trivia matches. I host Full Metal Classic on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern, as well as Full Metal Random. This week is going to be recent releases. And yes, there was recent releases that have happened. But with that being said, we've reached the end here. But with that,
Just give me
I'm going
all
to-
the bacon and eggs you have.